On the home page, it's pretty obvious what's going on. You can search by instrument type. So, for example, if I click on drums, you're going to get a massive library of drums, starting with, you can see tech house and drum and bass and death proof recordings. So it's not necessarily just going to be drums making simple rock beats. You've got house, techno, drum and bass, dubstep, breaks, hip hop, live sounds, and that might be for, maybe you more groove, funk, and rock oriented folks. Toms and drums, I would imagine those are one shots. You can organize sounds as you have them. For example, you can go through, organize every single one-shot kick that you could possibly think of and put it in a huge custom pack called kicks. You could then make other custom packs like house kicks, tech house kicks, drum and bass kicks. So your ability to customize this should be pretty familiar. It's anything like, say, Spotify or iTunes. You pretty much build your own playlists, if you will, of sounds that you dig. Now, just because you dig them and you organize them doesn't mean you have to pay for them. It just means they're sitting there. You pay for them when you download them. Where appropriate, it'll tell you about type, it'll tell you about key. It almost always tells you about BPM, particularly when they're drum-oriented things. But one-shots like this, clearly just a tom, so it doesn't have a tempo here. So this kind of layout is going to be something that's very consistent. Now, one thing that I found pretty cool is that when the library is huge, as I scroll to the bottom, you can see the bar loading, and then it stops loading. And as I scroll to the bottom, loading. So just when you think you've hit the bottom, rest assured, you haven't. Some of these pages are massive. There are so many sounds to go through that, at one point I had scrolled 10 times and still hadn't hit the bottom. So clearly something as generic as drums is going to be massive. Just to give you an idea, house drums alone have 49,594 pieces of audio. You're going to be here for a while. So get comfortable and settle in. There's obviously so many sounds to go through that if you're looking for house drums, you've got 50,000 to go through. I couldn't even guess as to how much time that's going to take. That's going to be a lot of time. The good news is you can spend that time and you can organize. And then once you invest the time up front to start collecting the sounds that you dig, every time you go to sounds, everything you want is going to be right there. And you're probably not going to use all of them. And you're certainly not going to use all of them in the first piece you write. So if you end up writing 20 tracks, maybe that'll be enough to spend whatever you put into your custom pack. Point is, it's pretty huge. Now, you can obviously switch here and go back and forth between the various genres, and some of the genres have subgenres. For example, house, you might imagine, has all of these. Dubstep has general dubstep and then deep, dirty, and grime. So you've got a lot to surf through here. You can get fairly targeted. And if you're not sure, you can always sort of hit the back button, and it'll take you back to where you were.